You know, I'm not super old. I haven't really experienced a whole lot in my life. I've experienced a decent amount and I've learned a lot, but some things I'm still trying my best to get through. But one thing I have learned over the last couple months, after not being in the greatest headspace, is that if you want to get better, you legitimately just one day have to wake up and decide that you are going to be better. I made this channel and started uploading probably at the height of my depression. I was easily at the lowest point of my life that I felt in the longest time. Didn't have a whole lot of super bad things happen to me, just enough to really set me off. And one thing I did learn after the multiple months of just feeling like absolute shit was that I legitimately just had to decide that I wasn't going to be upset anymore. I went through all the waves of feeling all the emotions, which is super important. If you want to get through it, you have to go through and feel everything. Suppressing it or pushing it down for later won't ever help you, and it'll easily make things worse. But it's very important to go through that. But at the same time, you need to make sure that you don't stay in that mindset that you're never going to get better, or you're always expecting it to be better the next day, because it never will be. You have to take it day at a time. But once you make that executive decision that you're just gonna be better overall and not really think about it, I feel like that was the one spot recently within the last couple weeks where I've felt better than I have in the last 5 months. I used to pretty much wake up every single day and already hate myself and hate my life. I picked up really bad habits that were completely against who I was fundamentally as a person and what I believed in, which was already a bad sign. I basically let my circumstances control me, which I should never have. And it felt like everything in my life was just getting ruined. I was like performing horribly at my job. I was disliking all of my hobbies. I hated doing YouTube. I would try to just go to sleep at unreasonably early times just to make the days go by faster. I stopped caring about my health a lot, stopped going to the gym. You know, there definitely would be times where I just had zero motivation to do anything, like even get out of bed. And it felt like there was no end in sight. I felt like I was just going to be stuck in this pit forever, but I'd say either 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, it was probably 2 weeks ago, I just woke up one day and I was tired of, actually no, I would say maybe it was a month ago, because that was when I decided I was going to go back and do my YouTube whether I liked it or not. I just woke up and decided I needed to do this because this was something I was super passionate for, and it was a huge catalyst to my motivation and happiness for a while, because being able to actually watch your lifelong dream slowly get to where it's becoming a possibility was a really cool sight. And when I was letting it go, I was ruining it. I was ruining my chances of doing my childhood dream of making YouTube videos for a living. And about a month ago, or early to mid-May, I just decided I wasn't going to throw it away and I was going to go back to doing what I was doing before. And it's ended up benefiting me greatly, because it seems like that's doing better than it ever had before. And with that being said, that when that was doing better, my job started getting better. I was having more fun outside of work, and then it was translating to me just being in a happier mood while I was in work. But then once that started becoming more positive in my life, it just seemed like I was on an upward trend after being in a downward spiral for multiple months. And that sucked. I wouldn't wish that upon anyone. That shit was miserable. But all it did was take one single wake up and where I just looked at myself and just decided I was fucking done living the way I was. And I'm glad I have, because now I'm doing much better and I'm a lot happier than I have been in a while. So to anybody that's going through a similar part in their life, just know that there is an end to it. There is a light at the end of the tunnel, but it does take a lot of work within yourself to just make the executive decision that you want to improve. Because had I just lost all that motivation or never woke up that one day, I probably would have still just not really gave a shit about anything I was doing, and my days would continue to feel mundane and worthless. I'm not pushing down my emotions. I definitely still feel them every once in a while. I have my bad days, I have my shitty moments, but I'm just pushing through it instead of pushing it down. I'm not trying to pretend that it doesn't exist and that I'm not feeling that way when I am, because I feel like that would just make it worse for me. Then I would feel like there's something wrong with me, because I'd be like, oh, I shouldn't feel like this after how long it's been. But in reality, that's not true, because this was something I cared deeply about that ended up going to shit. So yeah, I have every fucking right to be upset and to not be okay. And it will definitely get better the more I push through, like it has been. But there's just only so much I could do it like with myself. So just taking it day by day and doing the best I can with every moment. Thankfully, there's a lot of things I've learned to help with this process that I was against for a while. I would kind of refuse to hang out with friends just because I didn't feel like it, but I realized that that was what I needed the most, was to actually find people to hang out with, because that little break in reality really helped. Just having a day or two to distract myself was a nice change. So if you have a support system like friends and family, do everything you can to make sure that you hang out with them every once in a while. It doesn't got to be all the time, but enough to where, you know, you can smile every once in a while. You don't got to do it alone. I know a lot of us, especially men, believe that we got to go through it alone, but know that there's a lot of people that are going through the same thing as you, and you don't have to do it alone. Sure, it'll make you stronger if you do, but it'll also be a lot harder to get through. I just recommend doing the best you can with what you got. Obviously, some people don't have friends, which is understandable. I didn't have very many people to hang out with for a long time, so I know what it's like for sure. Doing these videos for myself helped a lot too, or journaling in a sense. If you don't want to make YouTube videos and post them for the public, that's understandable. Just do some journaling, like write in your notes app or find an app on your phone for journaling. I think iPhones have a journal app, so do that if you got it. A lot of it is a mindset. For me, it was just being sick of it, being tired of where I was at, and just deciding I wasn't gonna do it anymore. That I didn't want to feel like it. Didn't want to feel like shit anymore, which I still do. Trust me, I don't feel fucking great. I had something that was super important to me leave my life, so I'm not gonna be the fucking happiest guy in the world. But I also know that I have a lot to offer in the world, so I'm not the one that's at a loss. I don't get to lose me, so I don't got nothing to be upset about. I have me forever, and I'm awesome. I do a lot for people that don't fucking deserve it, so not my fault, not my problem. I would say my only problem is caring too much about people that don't give a shit about me, which that's gonna not last very long. It's not gonna continue for much longer, if I'm being honest. Ungrateful ass people that just siphon your happiness and don't put it back. They just take it and leave it. It feels terrible. But I got faith in all you guys. If you're going through it, talk to people, you know, post in the comments and stuff. I'll respond to them. I don't mind. Join Discords or something. There's usually always groups of people that are going through the same thing. And if you don't got any of that, just go in the mindset of waking up and deciding that you're gonna have a good day, you're gonna have a better time. There's so much more to life. It's taken me a lot longer than I would have thought this would to get through, but that's not something I'm necessarily upset or disappointed in myself about. Just meant that I cared a lot, and I'm not gonna take that away from me. I'm kind of happy that, you know, I cared this much. Shows a lot about myself more than anything, so I don't beat myself up for it, which you should never do. Never beat yourself up for the things you do. Obviously take accountability. You know, if you do some shit things, own up to it. That'll also make you a lot happier in life, is when you're able to understand why or like what you're doing that's wrong. We live in a serious day and age of lacking accountability in the world, and so the ones that can actually take accountability are ones that stand out in crowds for sure. For some reason, that's a dying trope of people, is to be able to actually acknowledge when you do something wrong, which is wild work. You know, I'm not perfect either. I've made my mistakes in the past. I was never perfect in any given situation, but I at least acknowledge the things I do wrong and try to do better at every given moment. I'm not a lost cause with being able to take accountability in my own actions. And there are times where sometimes it takes a lot longer for me to realize that I did something wrong, which is fine. As long as you're able to acknowledge it at some point instead of just being delusional and telling yourself, even in the future, if it took you a while to understand it, that you still actually acknowledge that it was wrong in the first place. Some people just assume like, oh, it took me that long to realize it, and then they just pretend that they were never wrong in the first place because it just took them a while to realize it. I've been having a pretty good last couple weeks. Nothing too much to complain about, I would really say. Still just doing what I can to get through everything, you know? Just continuing uploading these videos, even if they don't necessarily do well. They're starting to do pretty good, actually. Shockingly. Kind of caught me off guard that these are actually getting more views than I thought they ever would this quickly. They're like pulling my main channel numbers, which is insane. Wasn't really expecting any of that. Which this is, I really love when these do well, like when my secondary passion projects do better. This also really helps get things out and feel better when I'm able to rant and speak from the heart and actually, you know, benefit from it. I don't ever script these. That's why I'll go off topic quite a bit from the initial start. I could start scripting it if it gets real bad, but that's something I won't know until more people watch my videos and I get more frequent commenters. Then I can start to really perfect the craft, because the method right now is just playing some mindless video games, whether it's killing floor zombies or, you know, like Helldivers or something. I can just turn my brain off but still have stuff to watch in the background, and then I talk about some either motivational stuff or I just let you guys know what's going on with me. I still would like to take some ideas if anybody wants to hear a specific thought on a topic or discussion. Drop it down below. I'll do my best to give my take on it. I believe in y'all though. You're not doing well and you're just feeling isolated or alone. You aren't alone and it will get better. It just takes a long time. I was super pissed off when I would hear a lot of advice from people saying it would just take upwards of multiple months to actually feel better. I got greedy. That's my fault. You know, when I was first going through this, I couldn't believe that. I couldn't even believe that I was gonna make it to the next day, let alone 6 months from now. So you kind of just have to not think about how long it might take to push through these kind of things. Really just take it day by day and just try to enjoy what you got. Nothing is forever. Even if it feels right, you know, you could just be blind to what's really going on. Like me, I guess I wasn't seeing the true picture. I was thinking it was something different, but now I have experience and I can look back and know that I actually can get through something like this, even if it just takes me a long time. I love hard. Unfortunately, it didn't treat me well, but I'll be all right. I know some people have been watching since the very beginning, but if any of you are new, basically the entire channel was a little bit of a mini documentation of the lowest fucking point of my life, or current lowest point, because I obviously can't get worse from here. So it's pretty interesting to watch the ups and downs that I went through from the very start to now. And I also get to look back on these as well and remind myself that I can get better, and to remind myself where I came from. You know, this isn't the worst thing that could ever happen to a person. It definitely hurts, but you know, everything, there's always worse, but at the same time, everyone's worst is everyone's worst. Like, there's no tier list or charts. Nobody's suffering is less important or more important than someone else's. It's not a winning game to see who can have a worse life. Like, that even comes with rich people that, you know, complain that they don't get their car in a specific color. Because, I mean, technically, that's the worst that could happen to them. Everyone's got different points in their life. Not everyone's in the same game. Well, we're in the same game of life, but not everyone starts the same place. And there's nothing wrong with that. Don't be envious. But yeah, I think that's gonna conclude it for me on this one. Hope you guys enjoyed. Stay safe out there. Hope everything goes well for you guys. Want nothing but the best for you. Things will get better. Just takes time. Don't let it discourage you. And also, definitely don't stop doing what you love. For anything or anybody, just push through it. That's the easiest way to get over it, is to go through it. So with that being said, guys, hope you have a good rest of your night, day, whenever you guys find this in the algorithm, and I'll see you in the next one. I'm out.